The other thing that you cannot do, gosh, there are so many things you cannot do today on the beach. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Anna with you here and it's Benidorm by Anna. Welcome back everyone once again. And today we are on the beach here in Albir in our small village right near Benidorm. But we are not gonna be talking about the latest news. No. Today I have a very important and very useful, as I hope, video for you guys. And this is going to be a video, as you might have seen by the name, what you can, or probably better to say what you cannot do on the beach here in Spain when you will be visiting our sunny country. Some of the rules of something that's forbidden, which sometimes might be very silly and even crazy. So I hope you'll enjoy this video. So first of all, I want to say that in general here in Spain, there is one law that regulates all the rules for the beach and for the coast of Spain. But every single region in Spain is able to put some new law or modify the existing law just in case they want to have some extra restrictions. Today we're going to be talking about what you cannot do on the beach here in Valencian region, which means Alicante and Benidorm, of course. So let's start. First of all, I want to say about the celebrations on the beach. You know that Spanish people also love to celebrate things on the beach. They celebrate the beginning of summer, birthday parties, any kind of gathering together of old friends. They love to go to the beach and celebrate it if it's very good weather and if it's warm outside. Basically here in our region, we are kind of not that strict. Well, not we, but the government is not that strict with the celebrations as in other regions they are. And here it's not forbidden to celebrate something on the beach while you don't bother any people that are on the beach near you. You, however, cannot bring any kind of musical instruments, any kind of, in general, music, phones with loud music or something else, because it's not allowed. So no music at all. But you can gather in a bigger group on the beach every time that you don't bother anyone else staying on the beach. If the police will see that you are with like loud music going on, like a crazy party going on the beach, then they might put a fine of 750 euros. Yes, these are the sizes of a fine that you might get if you do something wrong on the beach here in Benidorm. So be very, very careful. The next thing that you cannot do is a barbecue or like a bonfire. Here especially it's very popular on the beginning of summer. We have on the 23rd and 24th of June, we have officially the beginning of summer season and the beginning of swimming season. It's when we have the night of San Juan, like Saint John's. I would translate it like this day. It's when we have a lot of bonfires in cities like in Alicante, in Valencia, and people gather by the sea, they go for a swim, they just stay together, make like a small picnic, even though it's not allowed. But on this day, police is a little bit more tolerant with people regarding these celebrations. And people just do some bonfires and barbecues. Barbecues in general, all the rest of the year, they're not allowed on the beach. You can also not bring with you like a big table with the meat and salads and like a big normal usual food and eat it on the beach because it's also not allowed. Very strict rules are here in Benidorm, in Valencia region in general, and also in Malaga, in Andalusia. The rest of the areas, they're more tolerant to this than here we are. The very important thing is that, for example, if you're coming with children, let's imagine that you go with a child to the beach, you bring a lot of toys, you bring a ball, you bring some rackets to play, badminton, something like volley, something that you want to play with your child. Have to be very careful because it's also not allowed. Can you imagine? Playing games on the beach is not allowed. then probably the police should just give fine for every single person that comes with a family to the beach, because everyone is doing it. Here in Spain, it's true. Everyone are playing at some certain point of time, being at the beach with their friends, with their family, with their children. So this is a very strange and some kind of a stupid law, but I get why they say it. First of all, what they say is that people cannot play with a ball or any kind of things near water where the people are swimming or on the areas where people are sunbathing. However, if you go not near the beach, but if you go like towards the road, there are some specific areas on a lot of beaches here. In Benidorm, for example, in Albir as well, in Altea, in Calpe, like in all this area, in Alicante as well, where there are specific areas for playing football, for volleyball, for badminton, for a lot of different things. So there you can play whatever you want and no one will say a word. However, as I've mentioned, people just don't know these laws because they are nowhere. Like, you have only some specific restrictions on the board when you come to the beach, but the general rules, they are nowhere. They just don't exist in a written way here on the beach area. This is why a lot of people just do things which they think are normal and somehow logical, but they might get in a true problem. So here, let's say you are on the beach and you cannot play by the water. You have to go at least 6 meters from the area where people are to be able to play with a ball or play something like more a movement game. Of course, if you want to play with cards, there's no problem. If you want to do some sports game, then you need to go away from the area where the people are. And if the lifeguard, for example, or if a person who stays and takes care of the beach area at this moment will see you, they might politely say, first of all, that you cannot play in this area, you have to go slightly forward. But if you don't make any case of that, then they might call the police, and it's then when you get a fine. No one just comes and gives you a ticket like, here, take 750 euros a fine. No, it doesn't work like that. It's only when you don't say, okay, I'm not going to do it, and when they're forced to call the police. So nothing is that bad as it seems. The next thing, which might seem kind of logical and correct thing to do, but I must say that a lot of people still do it, which they shouldn't. Because I've seen a few of them, only a few of them, but I did see sometimes here on the beach. It's to wash yourself in the sea, which means that bringing soap, shampoo, hair conditioner, any kind of things that are like chemicals, and go and wash yourself on the beach in the Mediterranean Sea. This is what you cannot do. Also, when, for example, on the beach areas you have some showers, or if you have these like small tanks of water to wash your feet from the sand before you go to the city already, before you put your shoes on or slippers, anything that you have, they also have to be used only for what they are created. So you cannot like wash your clothes in the shower, or the this tank for the feet wash, because normally it's a very hard thing when you're standing in the queue to wash your feet and you see that in front of you there's a family washing all their clothes from the sand and all their like swimwear, which you shouldn't also be doing on the beach, but it's normal, I get it, we are all used to it, but by law it's forbidden. For this you can also get 750 euros fine, which is a huge amount. It's almost like a salary, monthly wage here in Spain. For example, in a lot of beach areas, it's totally forbidden to sell drinks or food. Only it's allowed in one case. This is when there's a bar or a restaurant on the beach area and it's them who serve you the food or drinks. But then this beach area has to be like closed, especially for this bar. If not, no one can sell you anything. The very important thing that I need to say for you, especially those who are visiting Benidorm and Alicante, because in these places in summer there is very popular thing to do that a lot of people, they just buy very cheap alcohol and very cheap drinks, and they mix them all up in the car. They put like them in the plastic glasses like this, plastic cups, and they sell them on the beach, and they say here mojito, sangria, and things like that, you know. They wave to people and they sell it very cheap. This is why people are buying it. But I want to say, please don't buy these ugly things, these drinks, because a lot of people ended up at the hospital because they mix up a lot of things in those drinks that they shouldn't be, and the quality of alcohol is just awful, horrendous. So you basically might able to get an indigestion, and you might get a lot of health problems if you try these drinks. So it's better to go to some kind of chiringuito or beach bar or something and pay 1 or 2 euros more than risk your health on your holidays. So if you see someone doing it, please don't buy these things. Trust me, I've seen a lot of people going to the hospital because of that. And if someone will see, for example, on the beach, a person that's selling something, they also will get a fine of 750. The other thing that I wanted to let you know about is the 100% logical thing, but a lot of people do it. Let's say it like that, because we all know people do it. It's to make a pee in the water on the beach. Yes, this is something that we don't really talk about, but it's a sad truth about being on the beach, especially for children that cannot really hold themselves until they are able to go to the normal toilet. And this is what's happening sometimes. It's a sad truth of life. So there is also a law that regulates this and says that the person might get also a very high fine, starting from 500 euros. But the most curious thing about this law is that it doesn't say on how the police and the local government will be able to prove that that person peed in the water. How they'll be able to do it, it's just impossible to say. There is no law that says how they need to prove it. So, of course, there is no fine for that, even though the law exists, but they cannot give you a fine because they cannot say you did it. It is how it is. Of course, you cannot only not pee in the water, but of course on the beach area, on the sand, and like somewhere on the area where people are sitting. The other thing that you cannot do, gosh, there are so many things you cannot do today on the beach. It's just hilarious on how many rules we have just simply to go to the beach here in Benidorm. It's just so silly, but so interesting to hear what our government has in mind and which rules they've invented by themselves. So let's continue. You cannot book a place, like reserve a place on the beach by the water. So there's a lot of people, especially in Benidorm, that if some of you were to Benidorm, I know a lot of you were at least once, you might have seen on the beach, like from early morning, 8 o'clock probably, maybe even 7, a lot of umbrellas for the sun, basically stick in the sand right near the water on the first line, like right near the water. And there is no one near it, like it's just empty beach with a lot of umbrellas on it. Very interesting situation to observe, I must say. But this is basically what a lot of people that live here, especially elderly people, what they are doing. They are used to do it because they've been doing it for their whole entire life, but they don't know that it's forbidden, basically. And they just leave their umbrellas, they go somewhere to have a walk, to eat, and then they come back to the same place, which you usually cannot do here in Spain and in our region, but everyone still does it. Guess what? The other thing is that you cannot, for example, if they will see that you are booking a place on the beach and you are walking away, first of all, they might give you a fine of 750 euros. And then if it's happening more than once, and if the police and the lifeguard already knows you, then this fine increases up until 1,500 euros. So 1,500 euros per person, which is a lot of money. This is like a good week's holiday here in Spain worth. The other thing, for example, if you're coming to the beach and it's like your last day here in Spain, you want to swim and enjoy the sunshine, but sadly there's a red flag on the beach. Tell me in the comments, what would you do? If you would still go and swim, or if you would just stay on the beach without getting into the water. So if you're the ones who decided to stay on the beach and not swim, good for you. But if you are the ones who decided to go swimming, then you should know that if you're going to swim with a red flag, and if a lifeguard told you not to do so, but you are still going into the water, you might get a fine for the amount of 1,500 euros. Yes, a huge amount just to go and swim with a red flag. This amount is so big because here in Spain, if for example something would happen to the person that's going to swim with a red flag, all the like the person who would be in charge of all this and whose fault it would be legally is the lifeguard, because he's the one who's in charge to let you know that you shouldn't be swimming. But if you still went and something happened, then it's going to be all not your fault. It's going to be his or her fault. So this is why they are so strict with the fine. The other thing is that's not allowed is to clean all kind of dishes, plastic cups for children, I don't know, spoons, forks, something that you use to eat and like have a snack on the beach while you are here. It's not allowed to wash them in the sea, of course not, but also it's not allowed to wash them in the tanks with the water for the feet or in the showers by the beach area. Basically what they say is that you should have like a bag with you where you would put all the dirty dishes and all the dirty things and just bring it with you to your home and then wash them. This is what they think we should be doing here in our Benidorm region. The last thing, another thing that we are not allowed to do in all the other things is that we cannot put any kind of tents or any kind of constructions on the beach. It's also not allowed to sleep on the beach, not like if you're on the sunshine, you're so warm, you're feeling so nice and you just get a short nap. No, it means that you cannot stay overnight on the beach, like sleep the entire night on the beach. Also, we cannot put any kind of constructions on the beach like tables, chairs, anything major. The only thing we're allowed to put on the beach area is these like lawns, like this fabric, which is like with a layer like this. And this basically protects you from the wind on the beach area. This is the only thing we're allowed to put. Also, the most interesting and curious and probably silly rule that they have here in Spain, our government in our area, is that all the things that you bring to the beach, umbrellas, sunbeds, chairs to just enjoy the sunshine, all this has to be in a very, very good conditions and it cannot have any kind of oxide on them. Basically, they say that this oxide can fall down towards the like the beach area, the sand, the stones, or it might somehow affect the third parties, so like the people that are around you, and somehow make something to their clothes or their belongings. This is the logic that they have, don't ask me why, but basically it means that we all have to bring brand new things to the beach, and if we have some old umbrella that has just a little bit of oxide on it, we are not allowed to bring it. These are the rules, as I've said, but no one is basically following them. It's the truth. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. It is how it is here, and a lot of people simply don't know what all these rules are because they're nowhere written here on the beach, on the entrance, so no one knows about it, of course. And people are bringing what they have. If you have an umbrella that is working, you will not leave it at home and buy a new one just because it has a little bit of the oxide on the side. Correct me if I'm wrong. The next thing that we cannot do is to be without any kind of bikini or without any kind of clothes, like naked on the beach. Here in general in Spain, we have specific beaches for the people who want to stay naked, like nudist beaches. There are not many here, but still we have some. And they are basically the areas of the beach that are more limited access, where basically families usually don't go. For example, like the one that we have right there at the end, there is a small like a virgin beach, and there a lot of people go topless and without any kind of clothes, like naked, because there it's allowed, but here on our usual beach, the same as in Benidorm, it's not. Also, regarding topless, leave me a comment please, a lot of you, on how do you think topless is considered naked and nudism, or it's not? Leave a comment here down below. It's going to be very interesting to know what you think about it. Here in Spain, topless is considered a part of nudism. So usually on the normal beach, you shouldn't be topless. Which, why I say shouldn't be, because a lot of people are, and they will be. And Spanish people, they are kind of really relaxed. They don't care if you are like topless with your all like upper parts showing to the entire beach. They don't care. They're just relaxed people. They come to the beach, they don't want to have any marks here, so they just go topless and that's it. However, a lot of people, that especially tourists that come here, they're kind of shocked to see this kind of things on the beach area. But so that you know, by law you cannot do so, but in theory it's not good, but in practice a lot of people do it, and no one ever has gotten a fine. Not at least that I know of. All my friends, of all the people that I know, no one has ever got a fine. But it doesn't mean that that's good. Some people don't care what they have right near them. Some people feel themselves very angry when they see like a naked person near them and feel themselves uncomfortable. As many people, as many opinions there are in the world. If you've decided to buy a boat, even though it's an like inflatable boat without any kind of motor on, you cannot swim near the beach. There is a general law, which is not only here for Benidorm region, which is in general for all Spain, and is that any kind of boat with or without a motor on it, like an engine, and any kind of boat has to be at least 200 meters from the beach. Here, for example, on our Albiers beach, we have some signs in the water, like these balls on the water, that you can actually see where the limit is, so that the boats wouldn't come closer than that. But if you don't have any limitation like that you could actually see, it's better to stay slightly more than closer to the beach, because here the police actually is checking. This is the only thing that the police is checking very strictly, and if they see that you're closer than you should be, then they might definitely give you a fine, and it goes from 750 to 3,000 euros. So you have to be very careful with that. This is probably one of the few things that I would say definitely take into consideration if you're buying, even though a small boat just to swim in with your children. You need to know that it's not allowed to stay right near the beach front, because there have been some accidents. This is why our government is very strict with this. What about smoking? Usually here in Spain in general, they are not so strict with smoking. There are some beaches in our area, for example in Elche and in Alicante. There are a few in Benidorm that are starting to do it, which basically say that it's a free from smoke area. It doesn't mean that you would get a fine if you smoke on the beach. It just means that on this beach, people that come here shouldn't be smoking, because it's a beach with a lot of families, a lot of children, and you shouldn't be smoking on the beach area. You just have to go somewhere outside, slightly further on, if you want to smoke. However, there are a few beach areas here that, in general in Spain, not in Valencian region, I mean, that have forbidden to smoke, with a fine, with a big fine, if some of people here just sees that you are smoking. These two areas are in Canarian Islands. It's the beach of Mogan, and in Gerona, and it's the beach of La Escala. Apart from these, there might only be recommendations, and the lifeguard might just say to you, please don't smoke here, you have to go outside because it's a smoke-free area, but they cannot put you a fine on a legal way. And the last thing that's very interesting, and I've never imagined this law might exist in general, and it's that it's forbidden to make sand castles and basically excavate and make something like holes in the sand. Yes, as you hear it, making sand castles is forbidden. But happily, it's not in all Spain. Once again, you can make sand castles in Benidorm, for example, in Albir, in Calpe, in Alicante. That's all fine. But there are 2 beach areas in Canarian Islands in Tenerife that have a very fragile ecosystem on the beach, and they forbid to make any kind of sand castles and move in general the sand on the beach. And these are, I'm gonna tell you, Arona Beach and Arisco. The fine of making a mini even sand castle on the beach in Tenerife would be from 500 euros. Yes, even these things exist, even these rules exist here in Spain. These are the most important ones that I wanted to let you know about. There are a few more, but they are just the general ones that all of us know. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope it was very interesting for you. And let me ask one question. After all that you've heard today, are you still willing to go to the beach here in Benidorm area? Well, of course, it's a joke because I hope and I think that a lot of you are still going to, but at least these are some useful tips for you so that you know what you can and cannot do here on the beach in our sunny Valencian community and our lovely Benidorm. Hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you get to have some laughs or some surprise, something useful for you. And thank you all for watching. I wish you a very, very nice day of today, and I'm gonna see you tomorrow with the latest news and latest update on the situation from our sunny Spain. Bye, everyone.